This is Mike Marshev, and I want to thank you for taking time in your busy day to come and listen to me talk about new business generation using the Olympic style strategies. I, for one, I get so excited with the Olympics, winter or summer, I don't care, because they're like life unfolding before our very eyes. I mean, these young kids are competing. Some win, some lose, some fall down, some don't fall down. There's no guarantees. You never know what's going to happen when they start competing. And it's just like in life, and it's just like in business. And I'm going to spend some time with you today trying to connect the dots between these two. But before I begin, I'm going to give you some what I call nuggets of information. It has nothing to do with the Olympics. These are my nuggets. I think they're going to help you. But the first one I want to talk about is leverage. And the reason I want to hit you with the word leverage is because that's how you are on the line right now. Now, let me tell you how it worked. 2 weeks ago, I received an email from one of the subscriptions I belong to, and it got me thinking, and I immediately started a webinar. I produced a webinar that minute, having read this email. I'm saying I'm going to invite my database to a webinar, and I'm going to talk about Olympic strategies. So I put it together in about half an hour, invited my group, the people who are on my database, about invited, I don't know, it's 1,500 to 2,000, I don't know how many are on there. I said, come on, let's have a webinar, let's talk about the Olympics. They came, I spoke, we had a great time, and it was over, and it worked. Well, then I said to myself, wait a second, I have a product, I have a service, I have a webinar that worked, who else can I offer this to? So I contacted people who I knew had access to more people, hence TRO, for example, Travel Research Online. And I wrote an email to Richard Earls, and I said, hey, Richard, I said, let's offer this to the TRO group, which he said, hey, great idea, let's do it. So he then put it in his magazine, and you received it, his database. So what I did was I took a success, leveraged it, and rolled it over again and again and again, and it's been working over and over and over. Well, that's why I want you to think that way. When you have a successful group, when you write a successful sales letter, when you write a successful email or a newsletter, or whatever you do that works, don't just say, okay, that worked, what else can I do? Sit back and think, how else can I leverage this piece of success into the world? And it's called leverage. And if you have a group that worked once, it's going to work again for another group. You've already done the work. Don't reinvent the wheel. Keep rolling it over. So I want you to think or learn to think that when something goes good in your life, how can I maximize this and offer it to somebody else? And I won't bore you with a lot of different examples, but I have done that a number of times in my career. And if it works once, it'll work again. No question about it. So I have some breaking news. You're on the screen now. You see the screen, breaking news. And the breaking news is this, that if you're looking for a fancy PowerPoint slideshow today, you came to the wrong place. And the reason being because I don't know graphics. I'm not a graphic artist. I don't pretend to be. I don't make pretty slides. I don't know how to make pretty slides. I want you to concentrate on the messages that are coming your way today and not the slides. But there you go. There's my man. Nice PowerPoint, Mike. Kudos to me. And we'll move on to the subject. And that's Michael Phelps there in the Olympics. Watch this. To become an Olympic champion, it's a three-step approach. It's a three-step process. Number one, you've got to make a decision. You've got to make a decision that I'm going into the Olympics. I'm going to be an Olympic caliber athlete, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I'm going to make a decision to do whatever it takes to get to London, to get to the Olympics. You, as business people, you are going to make a decision to do whatever it takes to become successful or to achieve whatever objectives you have. If you don't make a decision and really commit yourself to that decision, that mindset, I'm going to do whatever it takes to become successful in business, to build my business, to double my business, to get to $1 million performer. I don't care what it is, but I'm going to make a decision to do whatever it takes. That's what the Olympic athletes do. That's what you're going to do. And then you're going to make it a mission. Nothing is going to stop you from your dream. No naysayers, no bad weather, no Dow Jones, no hurricanes. You are going to be on a mission to get the job done. These Olympics, these people, they say, you can't go in the Olympics. Who do you think you are? No. I'm going to the Olympics. I'm going to do what it takes, and nothing's going to stop me until I get there. Now, that's the lip service part, steps 1 and 2. You now are going into the action phase, step 3. Every day, every single day, Olympic athletes train. They eat, they sleep, they practice, they study for 4 years, 8 years, maybe even longer. Every single day. They don't take days off. They're always thinking about their mission. They're always thinking of reminding themselves of the decision. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and they do it every day. Now, if you are going to become successful in business, you can't do it when the sun shines. You can't do it when it stops raining. You can't do it when you feel like it. You do it every single day. You're focused like a laser to get the skills, to get the answers, to meet the people, to do the networking, to send the emails, to respond to people, write the proposals. Every single day, you're going to do what it takes to get the job done. And that's the mindset of an Olympic athlete. Everybody is not an Olympic athlete. Only the finest people who have paid the price over time are Olympic athletes. And that's what you're going to do in your business. And I want you to remember this. This is very important. You're like a magnet. You have the ability, let's put it that way. You have the ability to either repel people or attract people. You have that ability. You can bring them to you or you can force them away from you, just like a magnet. And why are we attracted to Olympic athletes? Because we know these are the first-class athletes. They paid the price. They're good at what they do. If you saw an Olympic athlete in a grocery store, you wouldn't say to yourself, oh, wait a minute, there's an Olympic athlete. Let's get out of here. No, you go over to them. You want to touch them. You want to talk to them. You want to ask them questions. You want to be around them. That's what you want to do as a business person. I want to be around you. I want to be in your office, in your room. I want to talk to you about business. I want to be attracted to you because I know you've paid the price. You've done your homework. You paid your dues. You've done everything it takes to become the best in the business, and I want to be around you. I want to give you my business, just like an Olympic athlete. You attract or repel. Make no mistake about that. And get this straight. Regardless of what you're selling, I don't care what you're selling. It makes no difference to me what you're selling. But you are in the marketing business. If you are going to be successful, it's going to be because of marketing. And where you go wrong is you don't know the definition of marketing, or you confuse yourself with the definition of marketing. So the marketing definition is nothing more or nothing less than this: getting the right people to know you. The right people, not just people. You got to get the right people, your targeted people, to, number one, know you. If I don't know you, there's no chance that we go any further. I have to know you exist. Then, over time, I have to get to like you. And once I know you and like you, then I'm going to become, over time again, to trust you. And once I trust you, then we have a business relationship. So that's how that's going to work: to know you, to like you, and trust you. That's what marketing is. That's your game, and that's what you're going to do every day. And you're going to make it simple. This was an old Business Week cover I copied years ago, and it was about Procter & Gamble with Ivory soap. And marketers sell too much stuff in too many different ways. Now, the smart ones are making it easy. Now, think about that. Travel, you can get travel in 15,000 different places. The internet, 800 numbers, direct, travel agencies, home-based people. I mean, getting travel is everywhere. And that's why people are becoming confused. We're not making it simple. I want working with you to become simple. You have to make my job, my life, simple. Try this, for example. My wife sent me down to go get some Tylenol. She had a headache. She says, Mike, go to Walmart or Walgreens, whatever it is, and get some Tylenol. Well, you can't do that. You can't go to a store and get Tylenol. It's impossible. without having more information, because there's AM, PM, Tuesday, single Tylenol, blue Tylenol, red Tylenol, Tylenol before Wheaties, Tylenol after Wheaties. I mean, there's just so many. It makes it difficult. I got a headache, going to buy Tylenol to fix my headache, for heaven's sakes. So make it easy. That's the point there. And this is going to simplify your life right out of the blocks. There are only two types of people you'll ever come in contact with. Now, there's 7 billion people in the world today, and I can cut them into two groups. People, and I can do that. And my life is very simple, because there's 7 billion people, there's only two types. And those two types consist of A, people I can help, and B, the other kind, the people I can't help. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. 7 billion people, I can help them or I can't. Where you get bummed out, frustrated, dejected, depressed, anxiety comes in, all those negative words, is when you try to help somebody who doesn't want your help, or doesn't need your help, or doesn't even like you. And you say, wait a minute, I'm a nice guy, I'm going to talk you into liking me. Well, no, you don't do that. You go find people that make sense to you. Now, before we go any further, because I'm in a quiet room here, I am going to go to the question again, and somebody, let's say Louis, just send me something that we're still on the right track here, so I know I'm not talking to myself here. Okay, the last Yanks, Louis Scully, USA, but tell me something. Thanks. Louis or Stuart, are you still on the phone? Just tell me something that gives me an indication that we're on the right track. Or anybody write something in the question so I can see it to let me know that we're still in business here. Okay, there it is. Test, Chris Whaler, two types, Lenore Small. Okay, great. Thank you, Lenore. Perfect. You can still hear me. We're moving. Thank you very much. Okay. I said it earlier briefly. Your number one problem is visibility. Not enough people know you're alive. We have to go make more people know we exist, so then they can like us and then they can trust us. That's how it works. And there's a little caveat. Some people know that you're alive already. You've accomplished that. But you got to be careful, folks. You may be boring them to tears. And that's a very big danger. They know who you are, but now you're hurting yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Don't be boring. Here's my hint to you. Be yourself. Bring your personality to your game. Don't read the books and you can't be like me, you can't be like him, you can't be like anybody else but yourself. Bring your personality to the game. And the good news is that we're not selling root canals. We're selling Disney and honeymoons and cruises and Aruba and whale watching. And what we're selling is all cool stuff. So you can get excited about cool stuff because it's really neat. And everybody in the world likes to travel. It's a subject that everybody can touch. But the reason you might not be more successful is because you're not bringing that personality, that enthusiasm to the table. You're forgetting that you're in a cool business. Don't do that. Don't bore people to tears. Okay, so with that is an opening. A couple of nuggets there. Those are called nuggets. We're going to swing over to some Olympic lessons that I watch the Olympics. I go nuts every night because it's life unfolding before your very eyes. But I don't want you to think sports. I want you to relate what I'm about to say to your business. This is all about you. This is all about your eating habits. This is all about you becoming more successful, better at what you do, attracting more people, getting more people to know you, like you, and trust you. It's all business related, but we're going to just talk about the Olympics a little bit here. It's very, very important in a race, an Olympic race, to start strong. In a 100-meter race, if you don't start right, you're not going to win. I mean, the start is so important. And the way you start your week is important. And the way you start your day is important. And the way you start your emails is important. And the way you start your sales letters and the way you start your conversations, that's very, very important. And I want you to remember that. But it's also important to finish. You have to finish what you start, and you have to finish strong. Now, there's an old saying, first impressions are lasting. They are not. First impressions are not lasting. First impressions are very, very important, but last impressions are lasting. And proof of that is you've all met people who made a good first impression, and over time, they start showing their true colors, and you realize that maybe they weren't the person you thought they were in the beginning. Finishing strong. Last impressions are important. That means staying power. You got to start good, and then you got to finish good. And like the Olympics, you're going to win some. I mean, let's talk frank here. You're going to win and you're going to lose. That's the name of the game. You're in sport. You're not going to win them all. And don't get all bummed out when you don't win. And sometimes the one who's supposed to win wins. And sometimes the person who's not supposed to win wins in the Olympics. I mean, you're going to win and you're going to lose, but you're in the game. And I can't think of a more exciting thing as a youngster to do is put the name of your country across your chest, put the 5 rings across your back, and wear that jacket over to London representing your country in sport. I can't think of a better high that anybody could have. And it has nothing to do with medals. They are on the Olympic team. They are there. They did it. They're the finest of the finest. Well, you're in the Olympics now, folks. You're in the Olympics that means more than gold medals. You're in the Olympics, business Olympics. You're in this for eating. You're in this for paying rent and paying insurances and car bills and gas bills and vacations and shoes. And I mean, you're in the real game here. And you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. But the fact that you're in the game, that's really cool. And we have to be disciplined. Not when you feel like it. You don't practice when you feel like it. You practice because it's time to practice. You go to business because it's time to go to business. You answer the phone properly, not because you feel like it or you don't feel like it. You answer the phone properly because that's the way you answer the phone. You are disciplined in everything you do, just like an Olympic athlete. They don't practice when they want to or when they feel like it. And then you risk everything. You practice for 4 years. You go to the London. You get onto the starting line, and in 3 seconds you fall down. Or you miss the beam, or the diver who hit his head on the diving board. I mean, stuff happens, and you risk stuff. These people put their Olympic reputation on worldwide television and then fell down in front of the world. That's the risk you take. And you're going to take a risk because you're going to business. You're going to win, you're going to lose, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're going to win, you're going to celebrate. It's a risk, and it's worth taking. And you got to be consistent. Not when you feel like it, not when you want to, but day in, day out, get the emails, call up the people, respond, be there, answer those pink slips consistently. When I'm working with you, I want to know exactly who I'm working with. To trust you, you have to be consistent. You can't be wishy-washy or I wonder how they're going to come across today on the phone. I wonder if they're going to be nice to me on the phone today. No, we don't want that. You're consistent. You pick up the phone, you're nice. That's the way it works. And you're going to be patient because it takes time. I wish it didn't take time, but it does. I've just grown some grass here. I wish I could grow grass fast, but it doesn't work that way. You throw grass seed down, you water it, nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens. All of a sudden, one day you see a little bit of green in the lawn, and next thing you know, you have grass. Well, you have to be patient in your business. It's not going to work overnight. Even if you do everything right, it's not going to work overnight. You need patience. And coaching. I can't think of a single athlete that does not have a coach. NFL, baseball, celebrities on TV, Broadway, anybody who's anybody has a coach, and there's a reason. We're going to talk about that later. But more importantly, other than having a coach, you have to be coachable. That means you have to be receptive to input, not criticism. You have to be receptive to input because a coach has a sincere interest in making you better. And to make you better, it's not all data boys and happy pats on the head. I mean, there's an old saying, if you want somebody to love, go buy a dog. But a coach is going to tell you exactly what you need to hear, and you have to take that. You have to be receptive to being coachable. I ask people, I say, from a grade from 1 to 10, grade your professionalism. And most people out there will give themselves a 7 or an 8. That's the way it goes. Very few of you gave yourself a 0. Very few of you gave yourself a 10. 7 or 8 is usually the number. And I think if you gave yourself higher than a 5, you're cheating yourself. You're downplaying yourself, because you can be so much better if you pay attention and you tweak and you edit and you fix and you practice and you fail and you practice. You can be so much better. And I always like to think of you as 5s, because we can get twice as good. We always want to be. That's the competitiveness in us. I got to get better. I want to get better. I want to get better. So give yourself a 5 and strive for that 6. And when you get to a 7, then come back to a 5 and go back up again. Any event, we have to practice. All your good people practicing all the time. And here's a question for you now, not to embarrass you, but you're in business, you're on this line today because you're sincere and you want to improve, and that's obvious. But here's a question for you. What business book are you reading? Not book, I'll make that plural. What business books, plural, are you reading to help you become more professional? Nonfiction, not the romance novels. But what business books are you reading right now to help you become more professional? And if you're not, then I think that you should be. I mean, we have to get better. We have to practice. We have to pay our dues. So think about it. And Olympic athletes, they eat right, they exercise right, and they sleep right. And my question to you folks, now here's why I say that. You are in a business that you don't have to own anything. You know, there's cruise ships out there, there's hotels out there, there are airplanes. You don't own anything. So therefore, if everybody in this industry is representing the same product, which is good product, but you're all doing the same thing, what makes the difference? And the difference, you've heard this 1,000 times, is you. You're the difference. You're the differentiator. So if you are the differentiator, if you're the difference, if you're the reason why I'm going to buy from you, then doesn't it make sense to take care of you? You're the product. You're it. So if you're the product, you have to be good. You have to exercise every day. You have to eat well. You have to sleep well, because that's what Olympic athletes do. They're strong people. Well, I'm not going to sell you vitamins today, but I want you to analyze that. Are you taking care of yourself? Or are you killing yourself and then calling you the differentiator? No wonder why you don't have more business. You're not taking care of yourself. And now you're setting goals. Goals that you can meet. I'm not talking about New Year's goals, fictitious goals. I'm talking about goals that really mean something to you, that you really make a decision to make it a mission, to take the steps to get the job done. Now, don't put pie in the sky goals, because that doesn't mean anything. But you ought to have some goals in mind that I'm going to achieve these. I'm going to give myself 3 months to do that. I mean, I'm not going to lose 20 pounds by Friday, but I can lose a pound a week for the next 4 weeks. I mean, that's a goal. I'm not using that as an example. That's just an example, I guess. And teamwork. You can't do it alone, folks. You can't do it alone. You can try, but in today's competitive world, you can't do it alone. You need collaboration. You need support. You need a good team, as the Olympics are. Look at the volleyball team or the hockey team, the soccer teams. You need a good team to be successful today. So those are just a couple of Olympic lessons. And now let's swing over to the attitude part, because attitude plays a very important role in sport as it does in business. If you don't believe in you, who is going to? If you don't think you're the best, who's going to think you're the best? You've got to believe in yourself. And the reason you don't believe in yourself, or the reason you don't have confidence in yourself, maybe, is because you know that you haven't read the books. You know you haven't done the networking. You know you're not writing enough. You know you're not failing enough. You know you don't meet the right people, or you're hanging with the wrong people. You know that. And if you know that, you're going to wear that. But if you do pay the price, you do the research, you do your homework, you do the right things, you're going to wear that as well. And you're going to feel comfortable and confident, and you're going to go to market, and you are going to, in turn, attract people into your world. So if you have any self-doubt right now, don't call it a behavioral problem. Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I giving this thing all I can give it to become successful, to make that decision, follow my mission, and take the steps? You know that. I don't know that. You know that. And there's something called positive visualization. All athletes do it. Golfers, let's take golfers for example. They envision the shot. They approach the ball. They see the contact. They see the ball in flight. They see where it lands. Racers. Wait, here's one for you. In the Olympics, if you saw the girls' gymnast team, the one on deck, the girl, the woman who's going to compete next, you saw her walking back and forth, moving her arms, talking to herself. What was she doing? She was visualizing. She was going through her routine. When you get to the Winter Olympics in 18 months from now, notice the people in the starting gate. They're talking to themselves. They're moving. They're getting their muscle memory intact. They're visualizing going through the gates back and forth. They've run the race before the bell goes off. Now, how does that work with you? I want you to visualize what you are going to look like a year from now and what you have to do to get to that point a year from now. I want you to think through it, walk through it, study it, dream it. And what's going to happen? You're going to do it. That's kind of mystical, maybe, if you want to call it that, but that's the way it works. In coaching, I want to just touch on this a little bit, slow down just a tad. Coaches can spot your weaknesses, and they also can spot your strengths. And I think I want you to strengthen your strengths. I don't want you necessarily to spend a lot of time to fix your weaknesses, because we all have them. We're all strong at some things and weaker at other things. If you spend a lot of time fixing your weaknesses, at the very best, you're going to have a mediocre weakness. But I want you to really find out what you're good at, what you're really good at, what you're passionate about, what you like to do, and work on that and study that and tweak that and become the best at that particular skill. Focus on your strengths. Don't belabor your weaknesses. And coaches also will help you build a strategy based around your strengths, and they'll help you when you fall down, because you're going to fall down, because we're all humans. We all sometimes take the shortcut. And there's a quote I like: never trust a person who won't call you a blankety blank to your face. And what that means is we want coaches who will tell us the way it is. I used to go in front of audiences and say, okay, folks, we have a choice here. I can tell you what you want to hear, or I can tell you what you need to hear. And I said, the choice is yours, what it'll be. And obviously they all tell you what they need to hear, but that's really not what they want to hear. They want to hear what they want to hear. But in any event, there's the URL again, www.mikemarshev.com/Olympics. Go there. Don't worry about the username or password on the left side of the page. Just fill out your name and email on the right, and instantaneously, it's so quick, it's amazing, you'll get into your email box a 10-page special report on the only 12-word marketing plan you'll ever need the rest of your life. Now, you sound incredulous, but it's true. I'm going to give you 12 words in a 9-page little booklet that if you internalize and connect with those 12 words, you're going to do just fine, and you can get it free of charge right there if you go to MikeMarshev.com/Olympics and give that a look. Okay. But sometimes we practice. Sometimes we do everything right. We read the books. We go to the seminars. We go to the trade shows. We do our networking. We do everything right. We eat right. We sleep right. We exercise right. And it just didn't work. I mean, that's the way it works. That's life. That's called life. And I just wrote a little slide the other day. Life is a sine wave, folks. Life is a sine wave. And a sine wave is the one that goes up and down. It's like a wave, up and down, up and down. If you're going up a wave, you're going to be coming down soon. Hold on, you're coming down. It's a roller coaster. And if you're going down, hold on, because you're going to be going up. And don't overreact. Understand how it works. And once you understand how things work, you know, we're living in an imperfect world. That's called emotional intelligence, or EI. And once you know that it's not going to be bad forever, it's going to be good soon, and it's not going to be good forever, it's going to be, it's a sine wave, up and down. And if you know that, just like Olympic athletes know, of course you get disappointed. Of course, you're a human being. Of course you're going to get disappointed, but you know the game's not over yet. There's always next week. There's always another Olympics. There's always tomorrow. And at times you're going to feel alone in this, especially you home basers. You know what I'm talking about. I've been working alone since 1984, but I've never felt alone because I never allowed myself to be alone. Because I had a support group. I have the Nolan Burrises and the Stuart Cohens out there to work with and talk with and to get uplifted. And they will tell me, they will call me a blankety blank to my face. I trust these people. They know me. And you have to get a support group if you're alone, or your team, or your group, or your organization, or your associations, or your affiliations. But if you belong to those, for heaven's sake, use them. Don't be a loner in an organization. I mean, that makes no sense. You need support today. So you need to make a phone call and talk to somebody if you feel your battery's being discharged or your battery's going low. We need that support. Olympic athletes have it. And sometimes you're going to take on water. Sometimes things are going to go wrong. And I want to share a story that Michael Phelps, after he finished reading, he was the great swimmer. Remember early in the Olympics, they kind of crossed them off. This guy's yesterday's news. They got that new guy. That new guy was going to, who won the first race. They're going to knock Phelps. Phelps was yesterday's news. And all of a sudden, bingo, that wasn't right. Phelps won another 6 or 7 medals, whatever it was. But after he finished, Bob Costas interviewed him, and he said he was telling a story about the 200-meter butterfly. He jumped in the water, and his goggles immediately filled up with water. Now that's not supposed to happen. And he couldn't see. Well, immediately, this guy was in trouble. His goggles went askew, filled up with water. Immediately, he switched into plan B because he was trained properly. He was ready for plan B. He had rehearsed plan B. His goggles went awry, and he went into plan B. And plan B was he knew through practice, through training, through coaching, that in 27 strokes, he'd hit the wall. So he started counting. He dumped in the water, glasses up, boom, 2, 3, 16, 24, 26, boom, hit the wall, flipped through, back the other way. 27, zing-a-zing, back the other way, and he won the race because he flipped into plan B. And that's why you folks are getting your management fee, because you're going through plan Bs. Things aren't going to always go perfectly. If they do go perfectly, we don't need you. But we have to be ready and trained and coached for plan B. What could possibly happen? And if it does happen, what are we going to do about it? So then when you get a client call you up and say, uh-oh, I'm in trouble, you say, don't worry about a thing. I'm on the case. And that's what makes you the best in the business. And sometimes that guy in the red jacket won the gold medal. But who did all the work? The horse. And he just rode the horse. And it was an old, somebody asked the disc jockey, how do you get so good? He says, I go find a fast horse. Well, you have to find a fast horse. You have to have good horses working for you. And your good horses are your employees, or your management team, or your family, or your preferred suppliers, or your customers. If you don't have a good horse, you're not going to have a business. And if you're riding a horse that's not fast, get a fast horse. Change. You don't have to, if you're hanging with the wrong people, change people. If your people aren't supporting you, if your preferred suppliers aren't supporting you, change preferred suppliers. You don't have to do business with everybody. If you're going to win today, you need to find and to ride a good horse, a good organization. Associations, franchises, I don't care who you belong to, you need a good horse. And if you don't have one, you go get one. Because that's the way we're going to win today, again, through collaboration. And sometimes, bingo, what happened? I just got knocked down. Where'd that come from? You're going to get whacked on the chin sometimes. And the secret is you get back up again. I'm telling you, emotional intelligence. You are going to get knocked down. You are going to get blindsided by something. And you know it's going to happen. So don't act surprised. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get back up. And you're going to keep on running. Most people quit after 2 attempts. Now, let me explain those numbers to you. 50% of salespeople quit after they try to sell something once. They do their presentation. The guy says no, bingo, they quit. 50% of salespeople quit after one attempt. 25%, the second number, 25% quit after two tries. Okay? So 50%, nope, gone. I'll try it again. 25%, they leave. So 75% of so-called professional salespeople eliminate themselves in the first two attempts. But the number 80% of sales happen after the fifth contact. So if you're paying attention, and the game says that most sales happen after 5 attempts, but most salespeople quit after 2, then I'm in the driver's seat. I just have to be wearable over time. Everyone's eliminating themselves. I'm just playing the game the way it's designed. I have to be wearable. That means you can't bore people to tears because you're going to be around for 5 attempts. You've got to always have something to bring to the conversation, to bring to the relationship. And this makes so much sense to me because nobody trusts anybody today. There's so much noise going on in the world. We don't trust anybody. It takes time to trust people, and hence your 5 or 6 or 7 contacts. So take those numbers to heart. You have to be wearable over time. You have to keep on running. And sometimes you're going to run out of gas. Sometimes the tank's going to be empty. You give me your everything. You've given me everything. Mike, I gave you 100%, and it's just not working. I'm going to quit. Why did I ever get into this business? Well, 2 things. Number 1, lie down, pound the earth, cry if you want to, then get up and let's get back in the game. That's what Olympic athletes do. We all run out of gas sometimes. We all we hit the wall, so to speak. That's where your support group comes into play, to listen to you and then remind you you have work to do. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes. Whine, cry, pound, let's get back to work. And don't worry about it because every industry goes through this. I don't care what you're selling, what business you're in, it's the same. It's not travel. It's the same everywhere. And the strong are Olympic champions. And the weak go home and say life is unfair. And this guy, holy cow, this guy from Jamaica, I mean, he's faster than lightning. Mr. Bolt. Speed wins, folks. It wins in horse races, foot races, car races. Speed wins more often than not. So, if that's the case, what can you do to become faster in a lot of different areas? Let me just go back to this. Let me go back to this one here. In what areas can you become faster? Faster in answering the phone, faster in answering emails, faster in getting presentations out, faster in getting proposals out, faster at coming to work. I mean, there's ways that you can faster at listening, not faster at talking, faster at listening to see what exactly is being said. There's ways you can become faster. And the reason being, as in the Olympics, the winner is often by a 1/1000th of a second. You've seen it. A tenth of a second. You know, a thousandth of a second. That's what separates the winners in the Olympics. You can't be twice as fast as anybody else. You don't have to be twice as fast. You just have to be a little bit better in a lot of different areas, and you'll become the Olympic business champion. That's the way it works. Little tiny tweaks in different areas will make all the difference in the world. And you've got to learn to celebrate your victories because it's so hard today that you work so hard and so long for nothing. It doesn't happen, and all of a sudden something happens and you don't celebrate. It doesn't make any sense to me. You don't have pizza parties on Friday after you get the new account. You don't have a wine and cheese party to celebrate something good that happens. And you look at the Olympics, take the women's soccer, for example. They go back and forth and nothing happens, back and forth. They kick the ball, inbounds, out of bounds, back and forth, back and forth. All of a sudden, something good happens. They score a goal. And what do? They mug each other. They jump on top of each other, and you think they're killing them. They're celebrating. And when people do good things in the Olympics, they celebrate. And that's what I want you to do. And teamwork, of course. You got to have the good team. You got to know who your wingman is. You got to know who's behind you. You got to play your part. If you're part of that team, don't worry about me, fellas. I'm going to take care of my part. You take care of your part, and together we'll make this thing happen. You watch volleyball, and you see everybody knows where the other guy is. It's like a clock, a Swiss clock in motion. They're not out running around hoping that something good's going to happen. They're synchronized. Teamwork in motion. And this is my favorite slide. My favorite slide here. I have two favorite slides. This one and the next one. The race is from start to finish timed. It has nothing to do with hurdles. The race is we start here, the fastest guy who finishes wins. But to make it interesting, we're going to put some of these obstacles in your way. Well, here's the secret, folks. You're fastest when your feet are on the ground. So the strategy of a hurdler is to get over that hurdle as fast as you can to get this fella's right foot back on the ground as fast as he can. Why? Because you're faster on the ground. It's not a race of jumping over things. It's a race of getting through that finish line first. So the faster you get over your hurdle, the better chance you have of winning. Well, the same holds in business. We're going to play the game of business, but we're going to put obstacles in your way, problems, issues, concerns, call them whatever you want. Your job is to get over those hurdles as fast as you can so you can get back on the ground running straight and running hard. So message here, don't procrastinate. You have a problem, fix it. Get over it. Let's keep going. You're going to have them. And as soon as you get over one problem, guess what's in front of you? Another, and another, and another. And that's the game of business. We're going to throw hurdles in front of you to see how you do. Get over them, keep running. This is an underwater shot of swimmers. And here's my point here. You look at swimmers, and you don't see them flailing away in the water, pounding the water. It's not a race of how many strokes you take. Speed does not come with the number of strokes you take. Speed comes with the distance traveled per stroke. Same thing with speed skating. You see these skaters with their arms on their back. They glide to the left, then they glide to the right. It looks like they're in slow motion, but it's not because it's the number of leg repetitions. That's not it. It's the distance per leg repetition. Same thing with swimming. It's the distance per stroke. This brings us back to the leverage conversation. Your success is the distance of each effort that you take, be it on a phone call, an email, a trip, a trade show, a networking function. When you do that, how can we maximize the effectiveness in each stroke? In everything you do, how can we maximize that effort? That's the key. Not how many things you can do. It's not the number of things you do. It's maximizing the efficiency of everything you do, really squeezing out the benefit. And sometimes it pays to look at things from a different angle. Let's back off. Let's not get stressed. Let's not get depressed. Let's back off, look in, see what the problem is, see what the issue is, and then go fix it and remain flexible. And this slide here, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. But I think Miley Cyrus, you know who she is, she sang a song which is a great song. It's called The Climb. If you haven't heard it, go YouTube, iTunes it or whatever you do. It's about the climb. It's not getting to the top of the mountain. It's getting to the top of the mountain. It's the journey. And you have to enjoy the journey, the wins, the losses, the training, the pain, the tears, the celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, such a cliche. I'll use me as an example. I'm 64 years old. If I live to be 80, okay, chances are it's going to be a few years longer. It could be tomorrow. Who knows? Let's say 80. What is that, 16 years? In my whole life. It's 64 gone, 16 in front. Come on. This thing is flying past us. Let's enjoy each day. Let's enjoy each person. Let's enjoy each experience. Let's enjoy each lesson. while we have it. You're in business. You're in the Olympics. Let's enjoy it. You don't have to win a gold medal to enjoy it. You're in it. Let's enjoy it. Focus on that. I mean, it's all about the journey. I mean, it's such a cliche, but it is so true. And let's keep our excuses in perspective. This South African young man in yellow, he lost both of his legs before he was 10 years old. So he was 11, and his parents said, hey, what are you going to do with your life? I think I'm going to go in the Olympics. Well, what are you? Come on, you can't go in the Olympics. You don't have any legs. Yeah, I can. I made a decision to go. I'm going to go. Here he is. Don't tell me, ladies and gentlemen, on the phone today, don't tell me that you can't do something. Don't tell me that. Tell me you don't want to do it. Tell me you don't want to pay the price to do it. Tell me you don't feel like doing it. Those things you can tell me. Don't ever tell me you can't do it, because you can do it. And I look at that slide right there. I mean, this fella, can you imagine? Yeah, I want to be in the Olympics. You can't go in the Olympics. Yeah, I can. Watch me. And he did it. You can double your business if you want to. You can achieve any goal you want as long as it's not ridiculous. If you pay the price, put in the time, be patient, have discipline, eat right, sleep right. I mean, you can do it if you want to. The Olympic caliber athletes, that's what they do, and they don't let anybody get in their way or talk them out of it. And they don't do it in a week. It takes them 4 years of practice. They got to pay the price. But look at this. Sometimes it just doesn't seem fair. Now, I'm not sure. I've never done the balance beam. I don't know what the rules are, but I'm pretty sure that this woman is not supposed to be looking at that side of the beam. I have a funny feeling she should be standing up on top of that thing and not hanging on. But that was on world television. Right there, that picture. Now, that happened to be Gabby, who happened to win a gold medal. The best in the business, the best in the world, sometimes are looking at the wrong end of the stick. And that's you, folks. Sometimes you're going to win. Sometimes you're going to lose. But you still get back up, because when you get back up, look what happens. You get your own cornflake box. Now, I've been in business a long time, and I have to admit I have not been asked to go on a cornflake box yet. But who knows? I'm not 80 yet, so I still have a shot at that. Give before you get. Give before you get. You have to give yourself, give information, help people. Don't give away your shop. Don't give away everything you do. Don't give everything for free, but you do have to give before you get. And one of the fastest ways that I know is give information about Bermuda, about whale watching. Give information, a little bit, not a lot of it, but give it in a special report. This is a 10-page special report that I'm giving to you. If you go to .com/Olympics, there it is on the bottom. It's 10 pages. If you want the 58-pager, send me an email and I'll show you. I'll give that to you too. It's more fun, because I wrote that and I had more fun writing the 58 pages. What's the old saying? It's easier to write 58. It's hard to write 10, because I had to condense. I had to watch my words. But go to that URL, get the free report, and remember this. Target your audience. Find out who you want to do business with. Make a decision on who you want to do business with and put that as your target. Then sit back and say, what do I want to tell these people? What's my message? Now, I'm going to give you a hint. I think your message is this. You're in business to help people, not to sell people, to help people make better travel-related decisions. I think that's what your job is. Your job is to help people make better travel-related decisions in time and money. And then you decide how you want to contact people. Then you go on with your strengths. It's either in seminars and emails and sales letters and invitations and parties, whatever. I don't care how you do it, but you got to contact people, because not enough people know you're alive. So therefore, you got to introduce yourself to more people. Then you have to develop a consistent approach, not when you feel like it, but you got to do it every single day, like an Olympic athlete does. And then not everybody's going to want to do business with you right away, because not everybody takes a vacation every Tuesday. So you have to follow up until they decide that they trust you. So follow-up is very important. And the last part is to enjoy the whole process, enjoy the journey. For heaven's sakes, if you're not in a dentist office, you can enjoy the whole process if you just give it time. It's a fun business. Helping people is fun, and you're in a fun travel business. So don't ever forget that. So go to MikeMarchev.com/Olympics. You'll get this back in your email. There's no operator standing by. You're not going to be talking to somebody. They're not going to be selling you toaster or vitamins or exercise equipment. Don't worry about that. It'll come right into your mailbox. 12 words, the only 12 words you need to make a huge difference in your life. And let's see. I want to thank you for coming to today's program. We did it in 50 minutes, which is pretty good. I think in the future, if we ever do these again, I'm going to try to get 40-minute, maybe even 35-minute programs to respect your time even more. But I want to thank everybody for coming. If anybody particularly enjoyed this program, send me an email because I love to hear these things. Mike@MikeMarchev.com. Mike@MikeMarchev.com. If you have anything nice to say, you can say that. If you have anything not nice to say, send me an email anyway. I like those too. So that's it. It's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. No, today's Tuesday. You got the whole afternoon ahead of you. Go out there and make somebody glad that they know you. And I want to thank you for coming. Thanks, TRO, for sponsoring this program. And I will see you folks somewhere down the road, I hope. So that's it. I'm signing off. And thanks for everybody who helped me earlier make sure that we were on the right track, because I really appreciate that and know that I do. Okay, folks, that's it. Talk to you later. Oh, I'll send, there'll be a link on this. If anybody wants to see it again, send me an email. I'll send you the link. Okay, folks, bye-bye.